doors are open on the House of Wellness. Today, you'll find out what causes the misery of headaches.
You'll learn how your lifestyle is affecting your fertility, and it's not what you think.
We continue our search for the mythical work-life balance.
I know that you guys think I'm not working, but actually I'm at the office right now.
Plus, the summer curse, thunderstorm, asthma, and how to beat it.
Well, my mum actually had trouble breathing.
All that and much more coming your way today.
So let's all get well, stay well, live well, and look fabulous.
Right here in the House of Wellness. Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the House. Fascinating chat today. We are looking at how a man's lifestyle can affect his fertility.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Did you know that some of your everyday lifestyle choices like fashion, tight jeans, and those tighty-whities you love to wear, Ed,
You have not seen my underwear.
can definitely affect your sperm count.
Tidy whities. It's a strong argument against all tidy whities, isn't it? No one wears tidy whities. Do they?
That's what someone that would wear tighty-whities would say. Now, on the sofa this week, she's part of the House of Wellness family. You can hear her on the radio. She's also one of Australia's most influential personal trainers. The gorgeous Michelle Bridges is here to talk about her new book, Keeping It Off.
To be clear, no one's seeing anyone's underwear today. Our favourite, Gerald Quigley, the GQ, is back in the hot seat and he has all the answers to your questions.
Don't forget, you can find us at houseofwellness.com.au. We are a hot little hub. Now, Gerald is there too. You can email him directly with a question, but keep it about health, guys.
Not underwear. Thank you. Loads of great tips on that site. Check it out. And, of course, you can call us live on TV. We'd love to hear from you. 1800 469 788 and talk to us here on the House of Wellness.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Even though Ed doesn't have as many friends, we are booming on there.
It's not a contest. It's not a contest. Rightio. Now, there have been reports that the sperm count of the average Australian male has dropped significantly in recent years. In fact, as much as 40%.
Yeah, and experts are now telling us a low sperm count may be the problem for 1 out of 2 every couples that's making them infertile.
It's amazing. It seems the lifestyle of the modern Aussie male may be at fault, and to explain why, we're joined by naturopath and our wellness guru, Dr. David Jivan. Hello, Guru.
Hello, Mr. Ed. Hello, lovely Zoo.
Hello. This is absolutely fascinating, Dr. Jivan, that our lifestyle can impact sperm count and fertility. How?
Well, there was a study done over 40 years, and they found that 50% reduction in sperm counts in males from Australia, Northern America and Europe. And the factors that were contributing toward these were things like Western lifestyles, alcoholism, social drugs, recreational drugs, anabolic steroids, things like mobile phones, laptops, and even tight clothing.
Well, the hipsters are going to be in big trouble with their tight pants.
Absolutely.
Do we need to rethink this? Do we need to think wire fronts over the tidy whities? Do we need to stop cycling in our tight lycra?
Firstly, sperm production requires a few degrees below the core body temperature of 37.2 degrees.
Okay.
And secondly, we have a muscle called the cremaster muscle, which controls the movement of your testes. So when it gets very warm, you find the testes hang away from the body, and when it gets cold, they snug up against the body. So when you wear tight clothing, you compromise the free movement of those testes. This is why if you look at a lot of traditional cultures, you look at things like the Indians wearing the dhoti, you've got the Arabs wearing the thorb, even the Romans had the toga, and the Scots had the kilt.
Don't start us on the kilt.
Absolutely right.
So really the answer here is wearing no underwear with a skirt to let the air circulate and breathe.
Pretty much, and
Wow.
what you can look at is boxes rather than jocks and Y-fronts.
Anything else we need to be aware of, lifestyle-wise?
Well, there's mobile phones and there's laptops. Now, they have a place in our life, but what the problem is that nobody's going to convince me otherwise that when you put those laptops on your laps next to your scrotal area and the mobile phones, that the amount of radiation and heat that's generated from that is going to compromise the cells in your sperm. Now, admittedly, we are not born with sperm. We are born with undeveloped sperm cells.
Right.
And they mature at puberty.
Okay.
So if anybody tries to convince me that by putting that laptop with that radiation and that heat and there's not going to have any effect on the developing cells, and they're kidding themselves.
Wow. So we're talking about heat. What about summer months or hot weather? Can that affect the boys?
Yes. So we normally recommend in summertime to wear nice loose clothing. And the other thing is also when sperm gets exposed to increased temperature, they normally die off. But when you expose sperm to prolonged levels of heat, not only does it die off, but what happens is you get the sperm that's produced is actually defective, and you'll get things like a low motility, which is the movement of the sperm, and a low morphology, which is the size and shape of the sperm as well. So, yeah, it is. And now, sperm regeneration takes about 74 days, and it takes about...
74 days
Yes.
to get a new cycle.
To regenerate, but maturity takes 75 to 90 days, which means that it takes 75 to 90 days for the sperm to mature enough to be able to swim forward to fertilise an egg.
Fascinating. Okay, to sum up all of this for our lovely gentlemen at home, what can they do to have happy sperm?
Well, firstly, for parents, ensure that your boys are checked for undescended testes, where the testes haven't dropped naturally. So get your physician to check that. Secondly, try to avoid them wearing tight clothing. And thirdly, try to avoid getting those mobile phones in their laps and keep it away from their bodies as much.
Certainly going to affect your download speed, so to speak.
And if I may, just also, as a holistic naturopath, I've got to introduce as well, there are some supplements that are very effective in sperm production. First of all, we've got amino acid arginine. There's zinc, selenium, coenzyme Q10, omega-3 fatty acids, and 2 herbs called saw palmetto and ginseng.
Okay. Wow. We'll have all those on our website at houseofwellness.com.au to follow up. Thanks, Doc.
My pleasure. And you watch out for those tight jeans of yours, Ed, and you will continue to be a wonderful ambassador for motherhood, Miss Zoe.
Thank you. And we can all start to wear skirts more often.
Absolutely.
There we go, fellas. And tight undies.
Thank you, Dr.
Always a pleasure.
Jivan.
They're out. Tight undies, no good for your productivity. And you know what else affects your productivity? Working long hours without taking breaks, like I do here. See what I did there? Okay. No.
Yep. Life's not all about work, but balance. You know, work-life balance, it's the number one thing I'm trying to figure out. It's important, and recent research shows you can achieve it while you're at work.
Really?
Weird, right? Apparently, it's all about the breaks you take.
Well, to test this theory out, we sent Carol and Pemberton in search of an office space where the breaks are encouraged and a game of ping pong is always on the cards.
It's 5 a.m. and it's Monday, and I have a full day of filming ahead, so my workday is just getting started. Right now, millions of Australians are getting themselves psyched up for yet another working week. My morning ritual sharpens me up for the day, and most importantly, it feels like a part of the workday that's all mine.
How do you keep well at work? Because we're all so busy, it's hard, right? For me, I'd rather get up really early and suffer for 15 minutes, come here, get a high-intensity workout. But it's how do you keep that energy up during the day that's the question. Oh, I'm late.
As Aussies, we will spend an incredible 90,000 hours at work during our lifetime. And either through guilt, habit, or workplace pressure, the only break we generally take is lunch, if we're lucky. So, how do we stay well at work?
See, I know that you guys think I'm not working, but actually I'm at the office right now. And I think the coolest thing is that Australia is going through a bit of a revolution on our office spaces. And instead of being focused on, you know, getting in and staying in your cubicle for as long as you can, they're now getting focused on productivity and how happy and healthy we can be. And ping pong is an integral part of that.
Did you know that a recent national study found that on average, every worker in Australia takes at least 3 days off a year due to stress? And it's costing Aussie employers over $10 billion a year. Not surprisingly, those same researchers found that healthy employees are 3 times more productive than unhealthy ones. Simply put, working insane hours is not good for your health or your boss's business. This is a Whatso workspace, one of 10 modern shared workspaces around Australia. And if these office workers aren't riding down a slippery slide, playing mega chess, or getting in a few sets of table tennis, well, the workday just isn't complete.
Because I've worked in professional services, and you have these cubicles and it's greyish and you've got these long corridors. Whereas here is more open space, you've got the colours, you can step away from your desk, take a 10-minute break, play ping pong or like table tennis, and then come back and probably foster like a brilliant new idea or something, you know, because it's that recharge that you need.
Research suggests brief mental breaks during your workday will actually help you stay focused. Giving your mind a few moments to wander is critical to creative problem solving, and according to physiotherapist Anna-Louise Bouvier, taking regular active breaks during the day can result in significant benefits for your health and productivity.
places like this, what they do is they make you move. So basically what we know is that if you sit for over 11 hours in a day, so at work, at home, commuting, your risk of a cardiovascular event, so stroke, heart attack, diabetes, increases by 40%, depending on your other risk factors, in the next 3 years. I would say stand, on average, 2 minutes 3 times an hour. So just get up, stand, go up and down on your toes, boost your blood supply a little bit. Try and get a little bit of huff and puff exercise. So we know huff and puff is really great for your mood. And the other thing is lunch like me. Just get outside at lunchtime, don't sit at your desk. You'll find you finish the day so much better.
Now, I know that everyone is not lucky enough to work in an office like this, but I'm about to meet some people who swear by an activity we can all do.
Yeah, usually I have a coffee in the arvos, but I might start doing this.
After the break, Caroline explores the power of the power nap.
I just had a power nap and I feel amazing. We'll look into the unexpected cause of your headache.
And later, we meet up with one of Australia's most highly regarded health and fitness experts. Michelle Bridges is with us. That and so much more after the break.
Earlier in the show, I started my day by looking into new ideas on how to stay fresh during the working week. It's 12:30 now, and workers everywhere are doing their best to catch a bite and a break. The more you can do to maximise your lunch hour, the better off you'll be professionally and personally. If you've got access to showers, a quick rinse can totally reset your attitude. A short bike ride is also a great de-stressing technique. Or even a short walk can help you solve problems that have been vexing you all morning. But Aussie workers of all kinds are starting to embrace a break in the workday that Europe and South America have been using for centuries.
I'm learning that getting up and taking a break is actually really good for your productivity, but some people are taking it one step further and actually having a little sleep during their workday.
This is psychologist Mary Huang, and she runs the Indigo Project, power nap sessions for busy, stressed out workers at her inner city studio.
Well, it is like adult nap time. So people come into a dark room and they have a yoga mat, a blanket, a cushion for their head and eye masks. They make themselves as comfortable as possible, and a psychologist is taking them through a nice relaxation meditation.
Just allow your body to really feel supported. This time is just for you.
They have a good sleep for about 20 to 25 minutes, which is about the optimum sleep that you should have before you get groggy. And then you get woken up afterwards, and then you can go fresh to work.
Research shows that as a nation, we are not getting enough sleep. But a 20-minute afternoon nap has been proven to boost concentration more than a coffee. So why not try this instead of a latte?
Well, it seems a little counterintuitive to disrupt your day and take these breaks and get up and get down and play ping pong and even have a sleep in the middle of the day. It can actually really increase your productivity and your happiness. I mean, I just had a power nap and I feel amazing. I could go out and crush it now.
Great story. I mean, I'm a big fan of a break. Little nap
we
break,
all need them.
snack break.
Any kind of break. Can we have one now, guys?
Yeah, exactly. Hang on, you need a break. You just got married. Congratulations.
I did, thank you very much. Short break, but straight back into it.
Right? That's all you need, short break. So let's talk about the breaks that we need to be more efficient.
Definitely. So it's all about how you actually structure your workday. So while you may feel like it's better to just keep charging along and keep working and you want the boss to see you just plugging away, it's actually much better for you to deactivate, take a small mental break, and then reactivate your brain. You're much more productive.
So what about all the employers out there? Are they thinking I need to get a big giant slide or a ball pit or a greenery? Or
definitely.
Everyone must.
No, you don't. You don't. I mean, at the end of the day, if your workforce is happy, if people are happy and healthy, they're going to work better for you. So if they can take a break, relax, have some fun during their day, they're going to come back, be more mentally focused and really better workers.
So I'm all for the daytime nap now. I've got an excuse. But don't you think we need to be more like the Europeans and have a big lunch?
We are
and then
a
have
multicultural society.
Right?
Yes,
Do you see this happening?
Yes. Well, the thing is, I think we've got like some good evidence behind it, because if we take a 20-minute power nap in the afternoon, it's actually better than having an afternoon coffee. So
is it?
Yep. Sorry, guys.
We should do the Google sleep pods. That's what we'll do.
Let's go and install them.
New law. Thank you so much. Very interesting
Take a break.
story. Yeah, I'm going to.
Thank you, ladies. Now, about 3 million people in Australia regularly suffer from headaches. And they're not just annoying, they can seriously interfere with your work, with your family and social life. It's just not worth the pain. So, here to help us overcome this headache hindrance is expert GP Dr Ginni Mansberg. Nice to have you back with us, Dr Ginni.
Hey.
These headaches drive us crazy. I'm one of the many that suffer from mine. I'm not sure if it's a really bad headache or fully blown migraine. When do we know when we really should take them seriously?
And all of my patients take all of these headaches seriously and they're convinced they've got a brain tumour. Maybe they've been online or maybe it's just in the back of their head. So we should decode them a little bit.
Okay.
So the vast majority of headaches in Australia are actually what we call tension type headaches, and we shove a whole lot of headaches in a single bucket, and basically we think they mostly come from the neck, stuffing up the muscles, and they just cause like a tight band around the head, and they can go from half an hour to like a week at a time, and they can be really debilitating to people. And your second most common cause is your migraine. 15% of Aussies get migraines regularly, and they are hideous. And if you're not sure whether you've got a migraine or a headache, we basically need 2 out of the following 3 things.
Okay.
So it's basically a really, really nasty headache to the point that it's debilitating. You can't really get on with what you're doing.
Yes.
Nausea, so feeling sick on the stomach.
Yeah.
And the other thing is either really bright lights or loud sounds make the headache worse. So you've got 2 out of those, it's probably a migraine.
Absolutely. And that cruel thing with a migraine, if one's coming, I think it affects the gastric juices in your stomach. It sort of shuts it down. So you've got a limited time frame to get some sort of anti-headache pill into you?
Well, we say, you know, because we've got a problem with the blood vessels, and what we think is going on with migraines is that they open up too much, flooding the brain with blood. That's what we think is going on. And we know that subsequently down the track, migraine sufferers are more likely to have a stroke. So we think it is a blood vessel problem. And of course, it is really quick. Time is of the essence. And that's why we say to regular migraine sufferers, take your migraine pills with you everywhere, just in case one happens.
Right. Hey, if we took an X-ray scan of a brain of someone in the midst of a migraine, what might we see is going on?
This is the problem. So X-rays are useless, right? We've got to use these functional MRI things, and they are a little bit unpredictable. And in fact, all the things we thought were going on are not always there. So the answer is dunno. It's not always the same. Like so much of medicine, so frustrating.
Okay, that's a medical term.
Yeah.
Just don't know. What about triggers? Can't all just be tension of the day. What other things set us off?
So it does depend on what kind of headaches we're talking about, but stress is a big one, and it's both for migraine and that tension type headache. Actually, another one is using too many painkillers. So if you're using them all the time and you're withdrawing from them, you know, basically people who use, you know, particularly things with codeine in them, we think that they're getting a lot of withdrawal from that. Things like certain foods will set off people with migraines.
Like?
Oh, also big cheeses, red wine, citrus, chocolate, the sort of stuff. Most migraine sufferers know what stuff sets them off, and you've just got to avoid that like the plague. It's even stuff like not getting enough sleep, not being well hydrated, letting your diet go to rubbish. That sort of thing will set you off as well.
And I think we possibly all know, even though this is a wellness show, a hangover headache as well, Doctor. Once in a while. I mean,
Never for you or I.
What options do we have to combat with our headaches?
Okay, so if it's a really easy thing like a migraine, travel always with your migraine tablets with you, and also avoid your triggers. If you've got stress, you definitely want to be busting your stress. Make sure you get enough sleep, make sure you're having enough water, yada yada, you know, that's sort of the normal stuff that doctors talk about. But then you've got other things that you can do as well. And I would be pulling in some of your allied healthcare professionals, people like your optometrist. Because if you've got dry eye, and it's really hard to tell for yourself if you've got dry eye, if you're using a screen a lot and at the end of the day getting headache consistently, it could be dry eye. Or if you're getting a little bit older, like me, you could be starting to get a little bit long-sighted and that vision problem. So go and get your eyes checked. It's a really, really important one. Go and get your teeth checked, because actually some people clench their teeth at night. And in fact, if you're waking up with a headache most mornings, could definitely be your teeth. So those kinds of things that will actually really help you. And the other one is going and seeing a physio or a chiro who knows about the neck. Because if your neck is like off because your computer screen's in the wrong position, or you tend to look at your phone like this all day, that can also trigger a headache. Both migraines and tension type headaches.
Great advice, Doc. I mean, they don't give us enough credit when we're suffering from a headache. People that don't have them, you're so lucky if you don't get them. And these fully blown migraines, they can be a killer. Great advice, though. Thanks for checking in with us.
Thanks.
Stay with us. Plenty more to come here right after the break on the House of Wellness. Community pharmacist and medical herbalist Gerald Quigley is here to answer all your calls.
Next, and I can't wait to share this with you, I'll be introducing a brand new segment into the house.
Trust your boobs, believe in your boobs, and you'll get there.
So stay with us. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back to the House of Wellness. Nice to be with you.
Okay, gentlemen, I need to take a little moment here because something really, really special I want to bring into the world today.
Already?
Oh dear.
It's too soon.
No, yeah, it is too soon. Just
Yes.
calm down. You guys just jump to conclusions. No, I'm not going to go into labour just yet. But
Stand down.
I do have a precious, beautiful, brand new segment I want to introduce everyone to.
Good.
The fact is, pregnancy is a different experience for all of us women. And with a new baby born every 93 seconds in Australia, there are over 350,000 women out there right now, sisters, I get you, who have a lot of questions they need answered. Okay, ladies, it's time to kick back and relax because we're rolling out the most comfortable chair on telly just for you. And thanks to our friends at B-Box, the makers of fun, functional baby essentials, it's all about the baby that's coming. Every week, we seek out a well-deserving mother-to-be and give her the 3 things that every pregnant woman craves. A large, luscious chair to rest in, a soothing foot massage from the lovely Rob, and the opportunity to ask our hand-picked panel of pregnancy experts a little early motherhood advice.
We've had a few heartaches along the way, and so, yeah, this is a bit of a miracle baby, I suppose.
This is Gemma and Angus. Apart from some first trimester morning sickness, their miracle pregnancy is going well. What's concerning Gemma now is feeding the newborn.
It was a lot, I guess, a lot of pressure in the media and everything you read nowadays with breast being best and how important it is for a mother to breastfeed, which is important to me. I'd like to be able to have the opportunity, but there's always that worry of how you will deal with the guilt or the stress if, for whatever reason, you're unable to or I'm unable to breastfeed.
Often here as a lactation consultant, I will breastfeed if I can. We don't need to doubt our bodies. We can trust our bodies. And if breastfeeding is difficult, there are some medical situations where it can be difficult, and it's always important to get help. Call a lactation consultant, call the Australian Breastfeeding Association, and the more you worry about it, the more anxious you'll be about it. Whereas if you can just trust your body and trust your boobs, believe in your boobs, and you'll get there.
Many of us have really high expectations for ourselves in our work lives, but when we're going through the pregnancy, the birth, the breastfeeding journey, we're interacting with a whole bunch of complex cards. It's not as simple as like setting goals and I will get there through hard work. So the breaking down of self-judgment, the idea of perfection and failure, there's no such thing as failure in pregnancy, birth, fertility, and in breastfeeding, and it's important to really manage that within yourself.
Your baby needs feeding, so if you need some formula, that's okay. It may be not what the sisterhood will tell you is appropriate, but you have to deal with your baby. This is your journey, your relationship with the baby, and how your baby interfaces with your breast. And it's all different for different mothers. And it's very hard to predict how it's going to go beforehand.
Gathering all this, okay.
Yeah, and I feel completely overwhelmed, and I do understand where they're coming from. Yeah. Why is it so stressful? Is it that we're impatient?
Well, yes, look, there is an expectation that once you've had your baby, breastfeeding will just happen. And it can in a lot of instances, but sometimes it doesn't. So it does create stress. So you need all those people around you to help and reassure and guide. And all going well, things happen.
Mm-hmm. It'll be fine.
I'll be here breastfeeding on the show soon.
Yes, that's okay.
Okay, well, we're here for you. Now, listen, you've got to be prepared, and for 5 lucky viewers, thanks to B-Box, the makers of fun, functional, everyday baby essentials, we've got a great giveaway. It's the ultimate baby pack. Have a look at all these goodies. Loads of great stuff in there. Baby bottles, little food feeders. Oh, this takes me back to my little ones. Fun for both baby and for mum and dad too.
Just head to houseofwellness.com.au and in 25 words or less, tell us why this hamper pack will make your parenting life easier. And you could be in with a chance to win one of the 5 packs from B-Box. I need one of those. Can you enter the own thing if it's our show?
I'm not sure. Okay. I don't think so.
It is the time of the show we love. Time for your calls. Let's grab Lydia, who's standing by. Our first caller today. Hello.
I'm just wanting to know what's your ideas for helping eczema.
Eczema. And in lower latitudes like Tasmania, I imagine far less humid. That would
yes, it
trigger
does.
it?
Yeah. So cold weather causes dry skin, causes the skin structure to break down. Yeah. So, Lydia, internally, omega-3s, how often do we talk about fish oil, krill oil, omega-3s, and good moisture? And it's a routine, especially when you get out of the shower, use a moisturiser while your skin is just moist. So pat dry, apply that, and that'll get things under control.
So your skin absorbs it better if it's moist?
Yes.
Okay.
Best fish oils in the world in Tassie. Can't go wrong there, Lydia. Good luck. Next up, an email from Philip, who's in Bald Hills in Brisbane. He writes, my 89-year-old mother is recovering from shingles. It's been suggested that lipoic acid is good for nerve pain. What do you recommend?
I do. Lipoic acid is an antioxidant, Ed, and it settles hyperexcited nerve endings, and shingles, which is so awful. About 800 milligram a day you need, so it's either 400 milligram twice a day, 300 milligram 2 or 3 times a day, and lots of rest just for recovery, to hasten the recovery, but it's so annoying.
Absolutely. Okay, our number, by the way, 1800 469 788. Call us anytime. Nice to have you live on the air, like we do with Tony, who's in Bundoora in Victoria. Go ahead.
I'm in my early 60s. My gut is a mess. I was wanting to know what to do about reintroducing good probiotics to get it into a good state.
Well, there's so many options on the market, aren't there?
Lots, but essentially, Ed, we're looking for a mixture of the probiotics that have been well researched. So lactobacillus bifidobacterium, big words, but they're on the label, and they are the friendly probiotics, and you need the 3 of them mixed up. I like the ones where there's no refrigeration needed. You put things in the fridge, you forget.
Yeah,
so
you do.
leave them out, and those combinations usually don't need the fridge.
Years ago, we wouldn't have had people saying, oh, my gut's in a mess, because we're now learning how important our gut health is.
Fundamental. How we feel, how well we resist infection, the whole thing.
It's fantastic.
All
Now,
right.
thank you so much, GQ. And don't forget, everyone, you can find us at thehouseofwellness.com.au. If you missed us last week, you can watch us there. I just watch it on repeat. While you're there, you can drop Gerald a line by email or call us directly on 1800 469 788. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Everyone else does. Get amongst it. While you're there, you can enter the giveaway.
The GQ is back later on the show. Pharmacist and medical herbalist Gerald Quigley with the A to Z of vitamins.
After the break, we meet up with a thunderstorm asthma survivor.
Got really wheezy, I felt tight across the chest.
We'll see you here for more.
On the 21st of November 2016, a sudden weather phenomenon took Melbourne by surprise.
These storms were in a long line, ensuring the particles of pollen were inhaled across a wide area, a mass outbreak over Melbourne.
Well, my mum actually had trouble breathing.
Temperatures dropped and thunderstorms swept across the city and surrounding suburbs.
Kind of really sudden. It swept over really, really quickly.
Now, it's not the first time this has happened, but this storm was different.
I think because it all happened so quickly, I think it caught everyone off guard.
8,500 people were hospitalised and 9 people died, all linked to thunderstorm asthma. I remember the day well, as I'm sure many of you do. The pollen count was very high. We were in late November, and when that storm hit, the hospitals were at capacity. The ambulance service stretched to their limits, and we were in the middle of the largest thunderstorm asthma event the world had ever seen. Asthma causes the airways in a person's lungs to become overly sensitive, and certain environmental triggers such as dust, pollen, mould and even pets can cause them to flare up. When a flare-up occurs, the muscles in the airways tighten, the airways swell, become narrower, and it makes it difficult to breathe. The statistics are frightening. 1 in 9 people suffer from asthma. It's been described by sufferers as someone squeezing their chest to the point of near suffocation. While asthma is treatable with the right medication, at present there is still no cure. One person who felt the full brunt of this weather event was nurse Nerina Fiamengo. Not only was she assisting those in need at Footscray Hospital, she also suffered from its effects. The storm kind of hit around about 6 p.m. at night,
But your experience was quite unique because you had symptoms earlier that day.
Yeah. I get asthma every now and then. It's not normally an issue. And I got really wheezy. I felt tight across the chest. I felt really itchy every time grass touched me. And I started getting a runny nose and I kept sneezing. And I'm thinking, this is just really strange. It must be a strange wind coming through.
The theory behind thunderstorm asthma is that during certain storm conditions, pollen grains absorb moisture, then burst into smaller fragments and absorbed into the lungs. If you're prone to asthma, hay fever or allergies, this is the perfect storm.
I got a phone call asking if I'd come in early. And she's gone, that'd be great. It's crazy here. We've got patients everywhere. There's this mass influx of asthma. Certainly, I've been nursing for 11 years. I've been in emergency for all that time, and we've never had such presentations all in a short window. And then you had all these people coming in with respiratory symptoms, and you had the ambulances coming in through one door with a lot of patients that were just acutely unwell. I think I triaged someone every 60 seconds.
This storm caught everyone off guard. And so this never happens again, the Victorian government has committed $15 million to developing an early alert system designed to forecast potential thunderstorm asthma risks. I caught up with Professor Charles Guest, Victoria's Chief Health Officer, to find out more.
So there's information on the Better Health channel, and there's information on the Victoria Emergency website and an app to go with it. It basically puts together the information on storm and pollen. It's something you can adjust to exactly where you are, so you get a localised warning.
This system is designed to alert Victorians to the potential risks associated with imminent thunderstorms. But while asthma sufferers in other parts of Australia should always have their medication with them, it's important for Victorians in particular to have a contingency plan if another storm hits.
Certainly, I think you should go and see your local doctor early. Secondly, carry your medication with you at all times. Having Ventolin on standby and some antihistamines makes a huge difference. Stay indoors, download the app. If you know that there's a high pollen count or a chance of a thunderstorm, please don't go outside. And overall, just be prepared. This is something that wasn't expected last year, and we certainly can preempt it this year. So have things on standby and just think about it for future.
Yeah, well, let's hope it never happens again. But
Fingers
if it does, they sound like some great tips.
Thank you.
Well, Sunrise Weather Whiz, James Tobin is back with us in the studio. Hello, mate.
G'day, guys.
That was both fascinating and scary all at the same time. What do the other meteorologist types think about these sort of weather events all conspiring again in the near future?
It is a bit like that, isn't it? It's sort of stay alert, but not alarmed. And I guess
alarmed.
Well, you know, the statistics are pretty scary. And this thunderstorm asthma occurrence doesn't happen in many places in the world, you know.
Right.
And Melbourne, sadly, is at the moment the world leader in this. You know, it's not good news, but the Victorian government, they've done so much work on this. So they've just launched this app, so you can get the information at the Vic Emergency website, or just Google that app, Emergency Vic Emergency, and then it's a system which it's monitoring, prediction, and also an alert system. So if the conditions are becoming bad, it'll alert you. It's like what happens with a bushfire or a flood situation.
That's amazing. So if you are an asthma sufferer, download the app, keep your medication on you, like that gorgeous nurse said, Maria. Right?
Yeah, the thing with thunderstorm asthma events is it's not just people who get asthma and hay fever that can be affected. Right. But likewise, not every thunderstorm is going to be a thunderstorm asthma event. So look, the best thing is be prepared, know what to do, stay inside if pollen count is really high, and maybe download that app.
Good man. Stay safe. Thanks, JT. Now, don't forget, every Sunday morning, we're also on the radio right around the country with Larry Emder, Gerald Quigley and our team at the House of Wellness. You will hear us on 2GB in Sydney, 3AW Melbourne, 4BC Brisbane, 5AA in Adelaide, and also 6PR in Perth. Nice to have you with us. Make sure you stick around too. More to come right after the break.
The A to Z of vitamins. Gerald has some preventatives for asthma and hay fever.
And next, one of the most trusted voices of fitness in Australia is here, Michelle Bridges, back here on the House of Wellness in just a sec.
welcome back to the House of Wellness. She's helped Australians lose more than 1 million kilos in weight, Ed.
Wow.
And she's a big part of our family. The House of Wellness family, of course.
Absolutely. She's been on our House of Wellness radio show right now. Here on the TV version with us, it's a welcome to the fit and fabulous Michelle Bridges. Hello, Mish.
Hi, how are you?
Really well. Not as good as you, obviously.
Yeah,
but,
you're looking radiant.
But this has been part of your life since you were just a young girl. I'm really keen, though, to get your definition of fitness and wellness while you're here.
Oh, gosh, definition. I don't know. It's just the way I roll. It's part of my life. And I think if I had to sort of impart any kind of wisdom or knowledge to someone who wants to get started, it's really just about making one small change, maybe two small changes.
Yeah.
Let's not be overachievers, even if it's just one thing, and just nailing it down and getting that into your repertoire, making it consistent, and then adding one extra thing, possibly, whether it be about nutrition or exercise, and just taking your time and getting it really sort of nailed into your way of being, your rituals, your routines and your habits. I think intrinsically us humans try to do everything all at once.
Yes.
Because I want my new body, my bikini body, my personal best running, to do 20 push-ups on my toes, and I want it all in 2.5 seconds, Ed.
Thank you very much.
And I want it now.
Yes.
And if you can't give it to me then I give up.
Yes.
Exactly. And it's kind of like we just set ourselves up for failure. So rather than trying to throw all of this stuff into the mix, just take one or two things, one thing about exercise, one thing about nutrition, and just nail it down.
Okay, great advice.
You can do that, Ed.
Absolutely.
Just take one thing.
Sure.
Now,
One thing.
You have a beautiful son, Axel. He's been on the show. We adore him. You are a busy mum.
Squish him. Look at the
Look at
mullet.
it.
Can't deal.
Look at
He's so cute.
He's
He's got a natural born mullet. I'm really proud of it.
Never change.
Everybody tells me I have to cut his hair.
Never.
Just so that you know, because this is your first.
Yes.
He's not quite 2 and I still haven't cut his hair.
That's cute.
I know, when I
Try
cut
again.
it, my little boy's gone.
Oh, I know. So
But it's grown into a mullet.
It's very cute.
Sort of shaved through the sides. I didn't even try.
How do you do it all? How do you run an empire, have a happy family? How do you do it?
I don't.
What you just don't? There's no balance?
No.
It just figures itself out?
The balance is BS, I think, and I'm just being honest with you. I don't think who has it?
Not me.
I think we were all
refreshing
just.
to hear.
We're all just doing the best we can.
Yeah.
And some days are awesome, and some days you just think, I can't wait till this day's over.
Best answer I've heard in a long time. Yet you found time to pen another book. This one's called Keeping It Off.
Why not?
You've written some others. What was the inspiration behind this one? You've thrown in plenty of great
this-
recipes and batch
Yeah.
cooking and amazing stuff.
This book has been something I wanted to write for a while. Because we have this alarming statistic in Australia where 80% of people who take weight off put it back on again.
80%.
80%.
So
That's insane.
That
Like,
is-
I just go, really? Is that many people?
It's so hard to lose the weight, right? But then to keep it off obviously is harder. This is what this whole book is about.
Yeah, so I wanted to reach into some science.
Yes.
I enlisted the help of Professor Catherine Samaras, who's an endocrinologist here in Sydney. She's amazing. She's got so much. She's a wealth of knowledge. But I also reached out to my fitness community and said, look, I want to hear all your stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. Tell me. And intrinsically, in my gut instinct, I kind of felt what was going to turn up did turn up, but I didn't want to put words in people's mouths. I just wanted to hear it from them. And ultimately, what kept coming back, the common thread, those that have kept it off long term and nailed it, they've had their habits and their routines and their rituals nailed in place, and they're cemented.
There you go.
Yes.
And they're so intrinsic, they don't even have to think about it. It's the way I roll, it's how I breathe. You know, I
Amazing.
don't even have to
All
think.
Well, look, I mean, you can only train with a personal trainer so many minutes a day, but you've got to great control the other 23 hours of the day about what you put into yourself. We've got 5 beautiful copies of this to give away.
Yes.
It's a new book, Keeping It Off. Head to houseofwellness.com.au for your chance to win those and enter. Lovely to see you. I'm sure you're off to a workout or something, aren't you?
I'm in my fitness gear, so why not?
Right?
Why not?
Spandex, everybody.
Rituals, habits and routines.
Got it. Got it. Thank you, Mish. Now, if you suffer from hay fever or asthma, stay with us. The A to Z of vitamins is for you, and it's right after the break. Welcome back to the House of Wellness. Gerald Quigley is back with us for the A to Z of vitamins. Off the back of our thunderstorm story with James Tobin, we need to find something maybe to help us out with asthma and hay fever. They're connected, aren't they?
They are. Look, and at last we understand that there's a very close relationship between allergic rhinitis or hay fever and asthma. So saline, you've heard me say that before. Saline's really important to isotonic saline, no preservative, to keep that area free of pollen. Can I also mention 45% of people with an inhaler don't use it correctly.
Right.
So, and that's very important if you are prone to asthma attacks. So learn to use it properly. And there's a magnificent device here called a breathatech, which actually allows you to help a child. So that just goes in there. It's a holding chamber. So you give it a shake, a couple of puffs if you're using, and then the child can inhale it through here.
Right.
And there's also a little mask. Masks can be a little daunting, so it takes a bit of practice to get
The breathatech to get through this hay fever season. All right, let's jump to a couple more of your calls. Helen is standing by in Redfern in New South Wales. Hi there.
Hi, my 3-month-old baby has bad nappy rash and I feel like I have tried everything. Can you give me some tips?
This is all ahead of you, Zoe.
Listen up, Z.
Yes.
This will be the greatest info you hear all day long.
So it's all about protection of that area which is very sensitive. So you've got to make sure that you clean the area well. Keep your fingernails short because they can be engaged when you're changing a dirty nappy. Wash the area well with nice warm water, and then apply a protectant cream, and there's lots of them on the market. So it's a matter of keeping the area clean and protected.
All right, emails now. Let's grab this one from Marlene in Melbourne, who writes, my granddaughter is 8 years old, gets very strong headaches. Well, that follows on from our chat with Dr. Ginni, doesn't it?
Yes.
What can we give an 8-year-old, though, for migraines, stronger ones?
Look, the most important thing is hydration here, Marlene. Just simple water. Dr. Ginni talked about hydration. I think it's underestimated in its role in preventing headaches from arriving, and particularly with little girls and little boys, they're developing. Headaches actually are common.
Absolutely. All right, one more call here. Antonia is standing by in Bosley Park in New South Wales.
I'd like to know what's the best multivitamin for myself and my husband. He is 77 and I'm 68.
Quick one.
Marlene, very quick. A lot of people bang on about expensive urine. Disregard that. That's pathetic. A multivitamin, either in a capsule, tablet or powder form, because powders give you a bit of protein, ideal every day.
Done. All right, we've got to go. Highlights from the show, GQ?
Oh, Dr. Ginni and the hydration. I'm a big hydrator.
Yeah.
I'd say Dr. Jivan and men wearing skirts to let their boys breathe.
Okay, and this book, Michelle Bridges, with her incredible physique, I'll just have a light salad today. Thanks. Thanks to everyone who's appeared on the show today too. Big thanks, of course, to our friends at Chemist Warehouse for getting behind us here at the House of Wellness.
Enjoy your week. We will see you next time.
Bye now.